Tatiana saw a magic dream. She saw herself as on a walk upon a snow-covered field, surrounded by a rueful fog. In snow drifts before her gaze there was a noisy, cloudy wave of boiling, dark and cheerless flow, not fully petrified by cold, two perch bars glued by frozen slush, a trembling and pernicious pass have been installed across the flux, and thus, before the noisy gush, full of perplexity and doubt, she stopped and wondered. Like at annoying separation, Tatiana murmured at the brook, no one would give facilitation, no one would ever take a look. But then the drift began to breathe, and who came up from underneath? A very big and tousled bear. Tatiana, he got to blare, extending her a paw with claws, and hardly able to withstand, she took the paw with trembling hands, and with great caution came across. She came through, and what of that? The bear followed step in step. She never dared look around, and walking faster every step, but from abominable snout there was no method to escape. There groans the intolerable bear, the pine forest standing there in its morose, frowning beauty. Their branches, under heavy duty by shreds of snow, through the crowns of aspens, birches, and bare pines, there come nocturnal beams of lights. There is no road, bushes, rapids, all covered with a blizzard storm beneath a heavy snowfall. Tatiana to forest, bear behind. The loose snow goes to her knees. Now branch will touch her side. Now the gold earrings from ears would be torn out very brute. A fragile snow from tender foot will swallow in the little shoe. Now she would drop down her shawl, and no time to pick it up. The bear still close behind, and even with a trembling hand, she is too shy to raise her lap. She runs and runs with bear close, and she has no more strength to go. She falls in snow. Bear promptly will seize her. She is quite docile. He carries her easily and softly. She doesn't budge and doesn't mind. He rushed her on a forest route, and suddenly a wretched hut, obscure and silent, all around. It was completely snowbound, and brightly shining in the light, and in the cabin, noise and drum, the bear said, "Here is my chum. Warm up a little here tonight." He walks up straight to entrance hall, putting her down on the threshold. Coming to senses, looks Tatiana. There is a door and no bear. The shouting and clinking glasses, like a funeral, as it were. Seeing no reason in this view, she can observe that quite a few she is just peeping in the chink. Around the table monsters drink, one with the horns and a dog's mug, another with a rooster's head, here a witch with goat's beard, there stands a frame of proud thug, there a dwarf with a thin tail, and here a half a cat and half a crane. A lobster riding on a spider, a skull upon a goose's neck. Still more to fear and to wonder is spinning in a scarlet deck. Here a mill is dancing, squatting, wagging and cracking with its wings, the barking, laughing, whistle and trump, the people's talk and horses stomp. What was Tatiana thinking over when she could see among the crowd the one who was both feared and loved? The hero of this very novel, Onegin, was sitting in the core and watching stealthily the door. He gives a sign, all go bustling. He drinks, all drink and shout and yell. He laughs and everybody laughing. He frowns and all remain still. He is the boss, it is quite clear, but Tanya doesn't seem to fear, and very curious at once could open door as if by chance. A sudden gust of wind put out the fire of nocturnal lamps. The gang were terribly nonplussed. Onegin, glaring all around, gets down on the bang and roar. The guests all go to the door. She is in fear. In a hurry, Tatiana will try to run like hell, but no go. In a scurry, rushing about, wants to yell, unable. Eugenie came in, and gazes of infernal inn fell on the virgin. Violent cries resounded wildly. All the eyes, hooves, crooked trunks, and mortal stingers, and tufted tails, and dreadful fangs, and whiskers, and sanguine tongues, the bony horns, and thorny fingers, all pointing at her in kind, and crying, "Mine, it is mine." "It's mine," said Eugenie sternly, and the gang suddenly escaped. Remaining in frosty deadness were youthful virgin and her mate. He takes away her on the quiet, in dreary corner on the private, in a precarious situation. His head is looking for recreation upon her shoulder, and Olga enters, followed by Lenskoy and a flare. Onegin raised his hand and glare, and with his wild eyes he stares, defaming his unbidden guests, Tatiana lying under stress.